Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Austin, and man, I was just looking at this FRC, First Republic Bank. Jeez, man, low of $11.50 today. I mean, I've not been wanting to touch these bank stocks or even add them to my long term because even though you might be getting this at such a big discount, the risk is crazy. This company already got $30 billion, savior backstop, and it's still making lows here. You look at this daily setup, it doesn't really look like something I want to get involved in, and I think the risk is too high on it. But man, look at that move. That's just crazy. I love trading, and seeing something like that, it kind of puts a smile on my face. Just to see that kind of action is really, really crazy. I don't know why. I think it's really interesting. But I have to say, I was predicting this to make a new low today and actually have a big sell-off today. Because you look at that, again, that daily picture, that hour time frame, double bottoming here, but just look at this kind of triangle pattern that's wedging out here. It just doesn't not look strong. And coming into today, it just, man, looked real bad. So $11, I feel bad for people that bought the dip on it at $40 because man, they're just getting crushed. But anyway, let's get into the recap for today. I'm up today $118, and that really, I feel like, doesn't reflect. I mean, I feel like, man, I hammered stuff today, man. Like, really, I thought I was, for the most part, on it. I think I took 3 trades all in all, 2 of which were on Tesla. So I'm going to go ahead and show my trades here, and I did take a trade right on the open. I talked a lot last video about being patient and being disciplined and all that, but I said, if I see the right thing, I'll take the trade whenever it comes, and I will be patient, but I also am here to take trades, when they present themselves. So I did take a trade on this. It was for the first 30 seconds or so on the opening candle. It came down, it was flashing green, it was moving all around, it came up, came back down, I mean, all just within seconds. And as it started to come up again, I was like, man, I really want to short this. I really want to short this in front of 179. Here's some highs here, 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 all through here. This pre-market level, this is where I want to get short. A lot of times you have I haven't really talked about this, but sometimes in the pre-market you get kind of 2 levels where it's like, well, okay, overall zoom way out, and on the hourly 30-minute, okay, you might like it for the move lower, right? The crack of support, that's what I was playing it for. Clear bottom here, we got some support here, so it looks like we want to flush that right off the open. That candle right before the bell, 30-minute, closed red. It looks good for at least a try, to crack that and flush that support. So that's what I was going for. But in the pre-market, you start to get a little bit more granular, and you see, well, okay, maybe it's going to crack lows, but if I am going to do this, I want to get an entry that I can be happy with. So it's either going to flush straight away, I'm going to miss it, or it's going to give me that nice pop where I can short into it, get that better entry, and then go in for the move. And so that's what I was waiting for. So I did get that, but you got this kind of level here, and then you've got this level like here, right? 180 versus kind of 179. And it looks like on the pre-market there were kind of multiple congestion zones here a little bit. So it's important not to get too caught up in all that. But I was like, all right, you know what? Based off how the price action was moving, just right off the first 30 seconds, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be interested in this at 179. And then you could even put your stop above 180 and just do $1 of risk on it, and that would have worked too. Anyway, so what ended up happening is I was looking at this on the 5-minute. It came up. I set a passive order to sell, 300 shares of it at, right in front of 179. So let's see where I got filled, 178.84. And now if you look at the 1 minute, you're going to see how impressive that entry was. 178.84. So high, kind of little high here, high, right here, this level. This is where I'm getting short right here. Bam, I'm short. 184.84, 178.84, and it dumped, man. I mean, this candle opened like slightly lower, and then it just dumped. And I was like, oh my God, I'm telling you, this candle closed toward its high right at the last second. I was put that order in place. I got filled instantly, and then it turned around probably within 1 second, if not like the blink of an eye. It just started to dump, and it was going down. I was like, oh my God, let's go. This is like dream scenario. Shorted 300, and I was up $1.50 before I could say, Tesla. And it dumped, but wham, it picked back up by the close of the candle. I was still looking at the 5-minute chart, and I noticed it was starting to bounce, and sure, bounce it did. It came back down to close the 5-minute candle red. This is the 5th minute right here, and it closed it right there at the low. And this was just such a bummer. So I took some profit out, 177.31 right here. Then it came all the way back up, ripped up, stopped me out for, actually, it looks like I lost on the other, 200 shares there. So this started to rip up, and over this high, I got out, and it just ripped up, and then it turned right back around. So up, down, up, down. So that was really unfortunate. I was like, what is this, man? That's nasty. Oof, that's nasty. But if you had your stop over 180, you didn't get stopped out. So maybe that's where I should have been hanging out. I think I just didn't want to lose the profit, that's the thing, is I'm setting my stops too tight. I gotta let these trades run, and that would have been nice if I had gotten that back down toward the lows, 176.50. Ooh, that would have been really, really nice, but I didn't let it go down, and then it quickly picked back up. But shoot, that would have been nice. And it did end up bouncing. You can see on the 30-minute, it came all the way back up, and immediately after it started to bounce, right as it was coming up here, I was like saying, 168 or 186, that's the target, that's the target, that's the target. I mean, that's where I had my line. I was like, it's super obvious. I was like, all right, it's going to 186. I didn't know it would do it that quickly. It really just beelined straight there. And then I had a trade on Apple in between these two on Tesla, which I'm not super proud of, but I had the right idea, just the wrong timing. So it did actually have a really solid day to the upside. Actually, we look at it now, it really was a great long, kind of where I got it. It just came up, and then in one candle, it felt flushy too. It felt like it was going to do this, and it did. So I got the 500, and then I took 100 off at break even, and then it dumped on me, and I took an $80 loss on it. Came a little bit lower before, that was the ultimate long entry, and then it just ran the whole rest of the day. So right idea, wrong timing, I guess. So anyway, I guess looking at these, ought to just take, put the stops in place, give them a little bit more breathing room. This 186, man, another trade where I really feel like I hammered it. Look at that entry. So just like 186 is the target, it's also the resistance, right? So as we came into that, we were nothing but strong moving into that. Look at these green candles just floating straight up into it. Really like no pullbacks here whatsoever. And then we, pushed off 186 a little bit, and then green candles, green candles, green candles. This candle closed with a doji right under my line. I'm like, okay, this thing is begging for me to short it. So I did. I shorted it at 186. It hit a high of 186.44 on the minute before. I set my stop over that, and it did not stop me out. And I was in it, and it came down. It took some time, but it did come down. I took half off here, and then it came up. I was like, oh man, is it gonna, because it was so strong up until that point. I was like, man, it looks like it's just gonna, maybe it's gonna rip through, look how strong this push was. Maybe it's gonna continue up to 190. I don't know. So I was definitely a little bit hesitant, but I didn't really want to lose the profit on the other half. So it came up, came down. I was like, okay, here we go. And then it just ripped back up, and I was like, oh man, I just don't like this, but, here I am stopping out prematurely, and then it comes all the way back down to 181, where, even with just 100 shares, if you hold it that long, you can be up another $400, So really, I should have held this and, let my stops get hit. That's what I'm learning from these trades here. It's just, I've got the entries are fantastic. I just got to put my stops where they belong, and I'll be good. But anyway, so I wanted to make this really brief recap to show you guys my trades from today. I'm feeling good. I'm taking some size where I feel like the odds are in my favor, and trying to manage risk, but I think I'm managing risk a little bit too well right now. I gotta throw my stops a little bit further, a little bit further behind. Actually, it looks like I took a little trade on this. I guess I went short here, and then I think I thought this 180 was resistance, so I guess I took a little scalp loss here on Tesla as well. But anyway, for the most part, pretty good. Where I'm taking the larger size is where I'm getting the good trades. So that's all I really have for today's recap. But I just wanted to come on and show these trades, and I think my levels are working well. I just need to, work on the execution on the risk side, and it'll be good. All right. Hit like button on this video if you find these recaps helpful, and otherwise I'll see you guys in the next recap. We got FOMC on Wednesday. That'll be interesting. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.